Hello, and welcome to the Interviews, episode 93. I'm your host, Springy, and joining us today is our very special guest.
Wes cosplay.
Woo! So, the first question, have you ever been interviewed like this before?
Yeah, I've been interviewed a couple times. Not that many, not that famous yet. But I've had a couple friends that run podcasts and YouTube channels, and I know a lot of people are always interested to hear what my backstory is as a cosplayer. So this is not my first rodeo, but I'm no expert, definitely.
Yeah. Well, that's cool that we have a semi-expert on the show for once. So the next question is a very serious question, very hard-hitting question. Something that everybody wants to know. Would you rather eat Cheetos or go on a hike?
Can I eat Cheetos while hiking? Is that an answer that I'm cheating?
Go nuts. You can go with door number 8, which I don't know what that is yet, but you can go with door number 3 if you want.
Yeah, I'd rather eat Cheetos and go hiking because then you're burning all the calories while you're eating, and also you get to see a really cool view.
Yeah. Awesome. So the next question is, do you have any other new cosplays planned to do that you're able to tell us about without me giving you $5 or more?
Let's see. Yeah, so because of the pandemic, I've had a lot of time to work on things and to get a lot of cosplans that may or may not come into fruition. One that's always been lingering in the back of my mind has been my Dunkin' Donuts cosplay, because cosplay isn't always a super serious thing, and if I want to dress up as a donut chain, then I might.
Yeah.
And I've also been really interested in doing a Disney cosplay recently. So as of right now, I am an intern at NASA. So I live right by the Space Center. And that means I also live right by Disney. So I don't know, there's been a little influence there. I think there's a Disney cosplay on the horizon.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
That's really, really cool, actually. So the next question is, why did you start TikTok/Musical.ly in the first place?
I was one of those quarantine TikTokers, but I promise I had been lurking since last year. And I just saw how much fun everybody else was having with it. And I was like, okay, maybe I could have fun too. And at first I hated it. So the first time I recorded a TikTok was Katsucon 2020, back in February. And I had to have my friends coach me to help me record the TikTok. And I was like, am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? They're like, yeah, that's how it goes. And I kind of hated it. So I posted one TikTok and then I didn't really touch the account afterwards. But during quarantine, I was like, I'm bored. Let's give this another shot. And now I'm like all about it.
Yeah, awesome. I'm going to butcher it, but I'm gonna butcher the name that you said, but just roll with it. So you chose your name online to be Wes Rez. Why did you choose that instead of Batman 28 or something else in general?
Yeah, so Wes Rez cosplay is kind of like, you would give it the equivalent of like a company name, because I didn't really want to be known as like Georgia cosplay, because that's also a state. People might get confused. So Wes Rez, I was sitting down and I was like, okay, I want my screen name thing, whatever, to be like really representative of who I am. And so this was probably back in 2014 that I came up with Wes Rez. So the Wes part comes from my favorite band, which is Weezer. And the Rez came from, at the time I was reading the webcomic Homestuck. And my favorite character was named Terezi. So I took the Rez and the Wes and I smacked it together.
Awesome. So now I have to do the stereotypical YouTube thing of don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. If you have any questions for our lovely guest here, then put them in the comments below, and if we ever get them back on the show, we'll ask them your questions. Yay! So going on to the next question is, what is the hardest thing about getting into one of your cosplays?
Oh, man. Well, some of them aren't really conducive to putting on myself. So Spider-Gwen is a spandex suit with a zipper in the back. So unless I do like a funky like reach for my back kind of thing, I can never zip that up myself. Pyrrha is a corset, and a corset in the back, if you've never seen, laces up kind of like your shoes does. So it has like a zigzag, and then you tie it in a bow. But that's also kind of hard to do when it's on your back. So I think those are the most difficult parts about getting into cosplay.
Awesome. Well, and also, I assume, very painful. So now the next question is a very serious question coming from a past guest, a Mr. Zoom _2028. It's very long, very complicated. Bacon ?
Oh man. I'm gonna be honest here. I'm not like a huge red meat person. I'll eat like chicken and turkey for days, but I'm not like a huge like burger, whatever kind of fan. Even hot dogs. I don't really eat hot dogs. I eat turkey dogs. One of those weirdos.
So the next question is also coming from my past guest, a Shannon Carruthers. You're going to be the star of a movie. Who would you want your co-star to be? It can be anybody in the world. Doesn't have to be Brad Pitt. And what genre of movie would it be about? Would it be? There we go.
Oh yeah. So is it about my life, or can I be a little liberal with the details?
Whatever you want. It's whatever movie you want to be in. Whatever genre you want to be in. It doesn't have to be a movie about your life.
Okay, I might be a little biased, but I really would like to have like a space-themed movie, like Interstellar or The Martian. I really like to be an astronaut, so it would be pretty cool if I could do that. And my co-star, oh man, is it bad if I say Matt Damon because he was in The Martian? Because he was phenomenal.
Yeah, that's fine by me. You can answer the question however you want. We are very laid back. We should be more strict, but we're not. So the next question is, how many cons have you gone to before?
Oh man. Okay, so I actually, on my Tumblr, which I kind of don't really use anymore, I mostly just use it for the FAQ section. If somebody has like a question I get repeatedly asked, I'm just like, here's my FAQ. I have the full list of cons that I've been to. So my first con was Otakon 2012. So I've been at this game for 8 years.
Wow.
That's a lot of money to down the drain. But I have fun, so it's okay. So I've been going to cons since 2012, and I go to an average, present circumstances aside, of probably 6 to 8 cons a year. So if you multiply 8 times 8, I've probably been to about 64 cons.
Wow. I think one of the leading people in that who's been on the show, I think. Don't quote me, but wow, that's a lot. That's just what I have to say about that. So the next question is coming from one of our fans on Instagram, a Charlie_Aronson99. Was one thing you regret doing on camera?
Oh man, I don't know. Would you believe me? But I'm actually kind of camera shy. For all the photo shoots and like videos I've done, like I'm actually really camera shy. So I tend to be like kind of shy and reserved on camera. I think that's why cosplay was like so good for me, because I didn't have to be myself when I was in front of the camera. So like if someone's like, here, I'm taking a picture, quick, I don't have to be like, what does Georgia do? I don't know. I could just be like, I'm Pyrrha. Hi.
Hi. That's awesome.
So I don't think I've actually done that much embarrassing stuff in front of a camera. At worst case scenario, there's a lot of bloopers from photo shoots at conventions where I'm just like, just making bad faces.
Yeah. Makes sense. So the next question is a very, very serious question. It's like all the other ones I was saying are very serious. Would you keep a pet zombie or would you kill it?
Oh man, I don't know. I've watched enough zombie movies to think that that's probably a bad idea to keep it. So I mean, I wouldn't want to have to do it. Maybe like someone else could kill it, but I don't think it would be smart to keep it alive.
Yeah, understandable. So the next question, the next two are coming from past guests. I'm just gonna throw that out there right now. This one's coming from, once again, Mr. Zoom _2028. this is even longer and more complicated of a question. Peanut butter ?
Yeah, actually, my snack earlier today was apples and peanut butter.
Ooh,
So
nice.
I'm a fan.
Now the real question is, bacon and peanut butter combined.
It's a hard pass for me, Chief. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, so far we've not had anybody who's tried that yet. One day we'll get the defined answer on that. But
For science.
Yeah, exactly, just for science, not for anything else. The next question, the last question before we get into the videos and then the actual questions I sent you. It's coming from a Harley F. Quinn. What are those?
I'm not wearing shoes. Yeah, I don't have any shoes on right now. I'm one of those like barefoot gang, but I mean, living in Florida, you kind of have to be because it's so hot around here.
Oh yeah, I visited. I agree.
Oh yeah.
I'm from like the cold part of California. I understand. That's hot. So now we're going to get into the videos that you sent in to show. That make sure my mouse is still on. Hit 18,000 buttons. Okay, now I hit the screen share button. If you ever stop hearing the videos, that means they can't hear the videos either. So just make a hellacious sound or something that indicates or just say the audio's gone, and then I'll restart the whole screen share because that's always fun. So I'm just gonna go right into it.
Okay.
Alone at last.
Lame. I'm the only one here?
Hey, crazy. Did you get the blood? How many different kinds?
One person's.
Just one? Hey, what gives? Weren't you supposed to get at least 3?
That's just the way it went down. Bye.
Bye. Okay. Are they all gone? Is everybody gone? Huh? Good. Oh my gosh, my cheeks are killing me.
You brings the corset, still brings it inches. No one wants a waist over
9 inches.
so but the makeup contains lead poison.
At least your complexion will bring all the boys in.
And then the left.
On the ground now!
Guys, you do not want to do this, trust me.
Mask! Copy!
All right, have it your own way.
Mask!
Copy.
Nice. I have to say, with the audio, that was the cutest change I've ever seen for that audio. And great transition as well, I have to say.
Thank you.
So, do you want to explain anything about your videos before we go into the next few questions?
I think all my videos are kind of a good mix of like, there's 3 different types of videos that I'll probably make. I'll make all the funny ones, which are like Toga hitting somebody with a frying pan. I'll do the ones that are like kind of just for funsies, like my suit transition video and all that. I just wanted to see if I could do the transition, honestly. So, yeah. And fun fact, the audio for that is actually from the movie Venom. So that's within the Spider franchise. And then the last one, which you'll be seeing a lot more soon because I recorded a lot of Yang TikToks, is some Sad Boys.
Ooh.
So stay tuned for some Sad Boys.
Ooh. Well, that's just interesting. That's words. I don't have words. That's how I feel. Most likely by the time this episode comes out, all of those videos will be out.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to go see those, all of the names will be in the description below. Just might as well say that now. So now the next question. These are the questions I think I actually sent you. What is the one thing you want people to know about the characters that you cosplay?
Oh, man. Well, So for a long time, I cosplayed characters because I liked their personality, or I felt like I could relate to them somehow.
Mhm.
But I've kind of branched out more in the recent year. So like I cosplay Toga. I'm not really a crazy person like she is. It's just kind of really fun to be her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, all my characters are kind of good leaning. So I don't really cosplay too many like explicit villains. I know Toga's a villain, but like if you read the manga, it's a little more in depth than that. So yeah, I think most deep down, all my cosplays are good girls and good boys.
Awesome. So the next question technically you kind of already answered, but so I'll just go on to the next one. How are you? Oh wait, no, you can't answer that one too. Never mind. I'll go on to the next one. Wow, just going through them. Okay, so did you ever create any cosplay characters just because like somebody said, "Wow, you would look great as Banana Man," or I don't know, something?
So actually, when I first started watching Ruby, which I think was 2014, maybe 2015. I'm so old, the years blur together. But when I first started watching Ruby, all my friends were like, "Oh my God, Georgia, you'd have so much fun being Weiss. Like, you should cosplay Weiss." And then I cosplayed Yang. So Yang came first. But then like Weiss was starting to grow on me as she stopped being like kind of a jerk. And Weiss was my second cosplay. So, I mean, people were kind of right. I could be a little bit of a princess. I'm not a jerk, though. I promise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, from what I've learned about you in the past 16 to 17 minutes, you're not. So.
Thank you.
Unless you're hiding it very well.
It's over there.
There, it's off camera. You don't see it. It's like the mess behind me. You don't see it. So the next question is, what do you think is one of the biggest misconceptions about you and or the characters that you cosplay?
Oh man. Well, it's a good question. I think a lot of people assume that like I go about my daily life acting like the characters I cosplay, which like for some of those is true. I could be kind of a smarty pants like Weiss, and I could be like a little romantic like Pyrrha. But like then people get really confused if like I say a curse word and they're like, Pyrrha wouldn't do that. Like, homie, I'm only Pyrrha when it's a convention season.
Yeah.
When I go home at the end of the day, I'm just a nerdy, space-loving, cosplaying dork.
Yeah. That makes complete sense to me. I mean, the next one is, what is one of the best compliments you've ever gotten?
Wow. Best compliments. The compliments definitely stick with me when I'm at convention because I can get a little bit stressed. Like, oh my God, I work so hard. Like, do I look good? Is it good enough? So whenever I get compliments at conventions, those hit extra hard. Which is not to say I don't appreciate the ones on Instagram. I love that too. But when I'm in that state of stress in the convention scene, it's that much more helpful. So I think actually the best compliment I got was from my friend Ryan when we went to Anime Next, and I was cosplaying Yang. And I have been like a little body conscious for the while after that. I mean, like you don't think it, but a lot of like cosplayers that you think are like beautiful, look good, perfect, like they get really body conscious. So I had been really body conscious about Yang because like she shows a little tummy, she shows like some leg, some arm. And my friend Ryan was like, Georgia, you look so good. Like, you look like you are Ken and Yang. Like, you walked right out of that animation. And I was like, thank you.
Well, that's awesome, and awesome to hear that even bigger people get a little bit more conscious about themselves. That's good to hear. Good message. Stereotypical, inspirational thing I should say, but I don't have it on top of my head.
Yeah, we're all human at the end of the day. I mean, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel that way sometimes.
Yeah.
You probably feel that way sometimes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All the celebrities probably, to a small degree at least, feel it sometimes.
Yeah. So the next question is, does the content you make that you like the best get the most attention, or is it the ones that surprise you?
Oh, Well, I kind of, as a rule of thumb, I don't really make content that I don't like because I'm really, really, really good at focusing on the things that I like, which is why I've been good at like doing all the space related stuff because I like space, which is how I came to become a NASA intern. But the things that I don't like, I'm like horrible at.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I like listening to music, but I can't have the patience for playing music. So whenever I try, it comes out really bad. So yeah, as a rule of thumb, all my content is pretty much content that I like. And as far as traffic to it, I think probably 75% of the time, my content gets traffic that I'm happy with. So like I'll post a Yang picture, Pyrrha picture, Weiss picture. Those always get a lot of hits. Toga in recent times too, and my new Thor cosplay that I debuted at Katsucon. The only thing that doesn't get as much love is my Fallout Vault suit, and I kind of understand that because my audience is primarily people who like Western animation or anime, and like video games are this whole separate thing.
Yeah.
But that's not gonna stop me from wearing my Vault suit.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome. The next question is, who is your favorite character to cosplay as?
Okay. So Pyrrha comes a lot more naturally to me, and I have a little bit of fun being like special because like Pyrrha cosplayers are, for lack of a better word, dying out.
Yeah.
As the volumes progress, there's a lot less Pyrrhas, and I like to like Pyrrha represent.
Yeah.
But Pyrrha's cosplay is actually really uncomfortable. So there's the neck piece, which kind of limits my head movement, and I kind of have to turn my whole body in order to see. The corset like squeezes everything together, and that's not super great either. I have armor on my thighs and shins, which is actually made of a thermoplastic, so it's very hard. And it gets a little chafy by the end of the day on my ankles. And I'm in heels too. So as much as I love Pyrrha, her cosplay is not conducive to being comfortable at all. So I'm gonna have to go with Yang because she just wears like a jacket, tank top, shorts, boots. She's a simple girl.
Yeah. Awesome. Trying to word the question correctly so it's not horribly worded. So, who from any brand of social media that also cosplays would you like to do a collab with IRL, like do a photo shoot or some videos or something like that?
Oh man, there's a lot of so as shy as I can be, I'm also like really a people person. So if anybody's in the convention circuit in the Northeast, like I kind of tend to hit them up and be like, "Hey, let's collab."
Yeah.
Because I'm a dork like that. So most of the people that I'd like to collab with are geographically a really far distance away from me, unfortunately. And it's also been kind of weird recently because now that I live in Florida, it's a whole new convention scene. But if I had to go with one, I'd really like to collab with Ren Emery, who does an awesome Ruby, Ladybug, and Starfire, just to name a few. I believe that she's out west somewhere, which is pretty much the only place I haven't really gone in the convention scene. So, but I love her TikToks, so.
Yeah. Awesome. Wow, my voice went really deep for a second. I know it's kind of hard to talk about this right now because of everything that's going on, but is there any upcoming cons that you would like to talk about that you know might still be going on?
Oh boy. So I think all the cons have basically been bumped to September. And that would be the two that I know for at least of this episode being recorded would be Colossal Con East and RTX Austin. So I'm really excited to hopefully go to RTX Austin because not only do I like to go to RTX for like the fun of the convention, but I just pig out on all that Texas food. I love the barbecue and all the tacos and Mexican food that's fresh down there. And like, I don't know, there's like a plethora of other things too. I remember past RTXs, I went to one of the top burger chains in the world and they had like cactus juice lemonade. I was like, what the heck? But it tasted really good. So I like going to Austin to also eat all the food because food is fun. And then Colossal Con East, I go with all my buddies. So that's obviously the fun part. and it's usually nicknamed Swim and Drink Con. So I'm a sucker for water parks. I know they're like actually super unhygienic, but I try not to think about that.
Yeah.
So I have a couple group cosplays I've been hoping to do with friends for a while, and because Colossal Con East and RTX look to be the soonest we'll get conventions back, I'm really excited to cosplay with friends again. That's probably my biggest thing.
Awesome. Well, I'm out of questions on my list, but we have 4 final questions to ask you. If
Okay.
I knew how to edit, I would put an infographic right here. But I don't. So, haha.
An imaginary infographic.
Imagination. Okay. Sorry. But the first question is, do you have any questions, comments, or concerns for me as an individual or about the show in general?
I guess what made you choose me as somebody that you'd like to interview?
Well, one day. So how we usually choose people is we go through I go through Instagram and TikTok for some people who have done who are not similar. That's not the word. Who have done stuff that we like to promote, which I mean, it's anybody really, anybody who says yes, and we're okay with promoting. But pretty much anybody who seems like they're a serious, I say that because serious means a lot of different things. Cosplayer and stuff like that, and also getting past my own bias of being like, hey, I like this one character in particular, so I like kind of just like snooping a little bit, kind of just seeing like how many different things and like how it all blends together and all that fun stuff. So yeah, the first time I ever saw your name in particular, which was not the first time I started thinking, was a picture that you and Gravity Cosplays did at KatsuCon, I do believe.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first time I saw your name, and then just kind of throughout that time, just kind of dug and stalked. Not stalked. That's not the right word. That's illegal.
Appreciated.
Yeah, exactly. There we go. And just kind of went through, and then we asked you. Well, my schedule asked you, and then me and her just kind of talked to you and all that fun stuff. So yeah, that's how we usually get people on the show. And it doesn't matter how many followers and stuff they have. Like the other day, we recorded something with like only 1,000. So on TikTok, which it's easier sometimes to get people. So yeah, that's how we got. That's how we chose you, and how we get other people on the show as well, or how we
Very
choose.
cool.
So now we're gonna go with the final 3 questions. I say that one because it's actually the final 3 questions I'm asking you, and not just shamelessly promoting myself. The first one is: would you ever like to come back to the show?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think I'd be at a very different point in my cosplay career if there hadn't been the pandemic going on. So I'm interested to see how the pandemic has changed my view and approach to cosplaying.
Mhm.
I think I'm a lot more likely to branch out in what I cosplay. So I've stuck to Ruby for a long time because I love Ruby. That's my favorite fandom. But like I watch a ton of other things too. And I feel like to a degree I'm a little nervous about branching out because like I know the Ruby fandom and I've heard like some horror stories of other fandoms being a little less than friendly to cosplayers.
Yeah.
So I think I'd like to be back on the show to talk about what my cosplay career looks like further out from now.
Awesome. So we'll schedule it for next week. No. So awesome. So the next question is: who would you like to see on the show in the future?
Oh man. Okay, so I'm going to shamelessly plug my buddy. So I think in the cosplay community, there's certain fandoms that don't always get a super amount of attention, but I have a friend who I also recommended to do an interview before, A7L Props. He does a fabulous Mark Watney cosplay from The Martian. So it's one of my favorite movies. So when I saw his cosplay, I was like, wow. But I think he's only sitting at about 1,000 followers right now. So I think he deserves like infinitely more recognition. So check him out.
Awesome. We'll definitely try and gain, and this is also how we get new other people on the show, is we ask around. But we'll definitely try and contact them, and we'll try and schedule something so we can get them on the show. The final question is going to be, I almost said the same one twice. Do you have any questions for a future guest?
Questions for future guests.
Yeah.
It's a good one. If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ooh. Interesting.
I think mine would have to be mac and cheese.
Oh, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Plus, you can put like different things in it as well if you just have to eat it multiple times.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the end of the show. So thank you so much for being on the show. I highly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you all for watching. If you would like to find this lovely person, all of the names will be in the description below for all of the social medias that they attend to. So, yeah, that's about it. Thank you all for watching. Is my mouse awake? My mouse is now awake. At least I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.